Namaste. I am Ms. Julia, AI assistant of Dr. V.V. L. N. Shastri, jurist, international arbitrator, financial economist, and Fulbright legal scholar. I am presenting today various evidence-based findings of Dr. Shastri. We are not talking about courtroom dramas or viral verdicts. Today, we are talking about something more silent, more systemic, and more soul-crushing: the daily crisis of justice inside Indian courtrooms. Part 1: The daily ritual of delay. Step into any Indian court and you see a cause list stretching 40, 60, 80 matters a day. But behind that list isn't action, it's inaction. Cases are rarely heard. Most are adjourned with one line, "Next date." Judges are often burdened to the point that their primary job appears to be dictating adjournments and updating electronic order sheets, not delivering justice. Even if a matter is heard, orders are reserved for a later date, not pronounced immediately. And by the time they are pronounced, perhaps the matter or oral submissions may not have been there in the memory of judges. When such long dates for orders are given, can anyone really recall the nuances of the case? Part 2: No time, no slot, no certainty. There's no scheduling system. No time slots. Advocates and litigants sit from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., not knowing when their matter will be called. Sometimes, a judge goes on leave, no SMS, no online update. Everyone arrives, waits, and is sent back. Why can't we have a digital alert system? If cabs can track drivers in real time, why can't justice track its own timetable? Part 3: Waiting in black and white. Advocates come dressed in black and white, full of hope. But what happens? They mark their appearance, whisper to the clerk, ask for a date, and leave. A whole day gone. Another date taken. And for what? For showing up. Meanwhile, clients pay fees, skip work, travel for hours, and often ask, "What moved today?" The answer is almost always nothing. Part 4: Language, Power, and Access. In lower courts, judges often prefer local vernacular language, clerks mediate communication, and English-speaking advocates are treated as outsiders. It's a silent exclusion. Communication doesn't flow. Justice gets lost in translation. And yes, clerks and bench staff wield disproportionate power. They can delay a file, fast-track a matter, or ignore a fresh application. All without accountability. Part 5: Even water is a question. You heard that right. Judges can drink water during proceedings, but some courts view advocates drinking water in front of them as disrespect. Are we not human? What if someone has a dry throat, a health condition, or it's simply a hot day? And where is the basic infrastructure? Waiting lounges? Clean toilets? Reliable drinking water for litigants? Part 6: Board discharged, hopes dashed. Sometimes, a judge hears just one matter and discharges the entire board. Advocates and litigants who waited the whole day return empty-handed, only to be given another date weeks or months later. No explanation. No apology. Just adjournment. Part 7: Justice as a ritual, not a remedy. When justice becomes a series of postponed dates, ticked appearances, and dictated adjournments, it turns into a ritual, not a remedy. Files move. Dates are generated. But the client's voice, plea, and suffering? Ignored. Part 8: The appearance culture. Especially in civil courts, there's a culture of just marking appearances. No arguments. No progress. It becomes about checking boxes, not checking injustice. And the worst part? clients keep paying for it. Part 9. Clerical hegemony. Bench clerks decide everything. When a matter is called, which lawyer gets preference? Who is heard politely and who is brushed aside? This unofficial hierarchy is known to all but spoken by none. Part 10. Judicial temperament. Some judges are kind, efficient, and fair. Others display anger, sarcasm, or impatience. Junior advocates are intimidated. Litigants are silenced. The courtroom becomes a place of fear, not fairness. This isn't about coddling judges. It's about restoring empathy in justice delivery. Part 11. Case files or human stories. Behind every file is a story, a struggle, a life event. But in overloaded courts, files are just numbers, pages to flip, dates to grant. We must remember, law is about people. And if we lose that, we lose everything. Part 12. Emotional justice is real justice. Justice isn't just legal. It's emotional. People come to court to heal, to be vindicated, to feel heard. If it takes 15 years to get there, most don't want the verdict. They just want it to end. We owe them better. Part 13. Solutions we must demand. Let's push for alarm clock time slots for cases, mobile phone SMS and app-based updates, detective transparency in adjournments, nerd-face language neutrality and access, automobile basic facilities for everyone, scales judicial accountability and empathy. Final call, let's speak up. This is not an attack. It's an appeal. To judges, lawyers, court staff, and citizens, let's rebuild this system. Let's make it faster, fairer, and more human. Because justice isn't a date on the cause list. It's a promise. Let's keep that promise. Justice isn't just about verdicts, it's about how we are treated along the way.